I have been dancing for 27 years, my entire life, and I have been trained extensively in technique, performance quality, artistry, terminology, but not on the industry. And these are things that I had to learn after high school, post-college. And had this been included in the education and curriculum at a younger age, I think I would have been even better prepared to create the career in the industry that I saw for myself. Things as simple as properly building a resume, how important it is to network at all levels. You never know who you're sitting next to and how that person may help you in the future to secure your next job, your next contract. How should you negotiate your contract? What is a union? What is SAG? Do you need an agent? What kinds of agents or managers? Do you want to work in New York or LA? There are other hubs beyond New York or LA. Commercial versus concert dance. I think a lot of what we're taught is so black and white. It's one path or the other, but really there are so many different paths and you don't have to stick to just one thing, but it is important that you're educated on everything so that you can make the best decision for you. You're more than just a dancer, and that should be taught across the board. You're a brand, you're a person, your identity, all the things that make you you outside of the studio influence how you are in the studio and can be assets to building up your repertoire, but also how you carry yourself in these rooms. So on this channel, I'm going to be talking about these things. I'm going to have conversations with other artists in the industry to show you guys all that there is to know about dance and how to better prepare yourself for your journey in this field. So how I started out. I started off as a competition dancer. My mom put me in classes when I was like 2 years old. So I was trained in ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop, musical theater, contemporary, and gymnastics. And then by the age of like 8 or 9, I was doing dance and gymnastics very extensively every day. Both sports are very expensive and time consuming, so I had to choose which one I wanted to focus my energy on and dedicate my time to. And for me, that was dance, but having that gymnastics background was very helpful. I also attended the Washington School of Ballet while also doing my competition dance training, and I think that was important too because it gave me a strong technical foundation. And then for high school, I went to Baltimore School for the Arts, and that was an interesting experience for me because it was where I focused solely on ballet, modern, and point. And although I enjoyed aspects of those styles, I definitely felt stifled in not being able to branch out and do jazz, do tap, focus on these other genres of dance that are just as important and integral to my training as ballet and modern. So I'm glad that I kept up my competition dance training to offset not having those other styles in my curriculum at my high school. So after high school, I was deciding between USC or Pace University for dance, and I ended up going with Pace. So I went to school in New York City for college for my undergrad, and I was a commercial dance major there. Such a cool experience being in New York City. I love New York. I went to Alvin Ailey Dance Theater for 2 summers in New York, so I was already experienced like being in the city and just being able to be around so many talented people. There's Broadway, the Rockettes, like so many outlets that I didn't even think about pursuing until I was actually there. So I think that also goes into play about like what we're taught and what we're seeing in education and dance history. It should be infused in our curriculum earlier on so that we can start picturing, what careers do we want to have? Where do we see ourselves? What's possible? What's reachable? Like, I didn't even know the Rockettes existed until I got to college. And I know some people, that was all they knew, you know? So having more access, opportunity, and insight is super important early on, right? To set you up better for success. And then in 2019, I came to LA for the first time with my senior class at Pace for like 3 weeks. And I was just exposed to dance on the West Coast and TV and film and just how it differs from New York City. And so I was like, you know what? I think I want to move out here and give dance over here a try. My mom moved to Florida while I was in college, so I went home with her for 6 months. And I was grateful to not be in New York right when COVID hit, but I was like, I need to be in a creative space. So after 6 months, I moved to LA, and I've been here ever since. I've gotten to perform as a dancer at the VMAs. I've been in some commercials. I was a dancer on Netflix, Nickelodeon. I worked for Bridgerton during the Bridgerton experience in LA as the first cast. So there's been a lot of great projects that I've gotten to be a part of. Dancer, teacher, educator, choreographer. My goal is to become a casting director in the industry and use my platform to advocate for dancers' rights and help change the education and landscape for the next generation. So that's kind of like my backstory and how we got to where we are now. So that is what I'm going to help share tips and tricks on from my own lived experiences. So yeah,